Quiet, calculated, precise. Ask anyone at Cordisco's Chess Center and they'll tell you that chess takes practice, determination, and skill. And everyone has a different reason to compete in Broome County's 3rd annual chess tournament.
There are beautiful ideas involved, visually, calculating ideas. When I say beautiful, it's aesthetically pleasing. It's a lot of fun. It's more than fun. It's rewarding. And there's a social aspect to it also. Chess people are great.
And others say,
when you're a kid, between now, thousands. We used to play thousands and thousands of games. There used to be a chess club at the YMCA downtown.
It's fun because it's a challenge.
But for Noah Drum, chess is a passion that he's had since he was 5 years old.
You have to sit down and actually take the time to learn it. And once you play your first game, then you pretty much remember the rules.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard because there's different moves you can do.
Noah and Dan both agree that chess is a great thing for kids to learn. It's fun, it helps you think, and it gets you out of the house.
You have to have skills in playing it. It's not something you just know, because it's more constructive than just watching TV or playing video games.
From its believed origins in the 6th century to practically being standard on most computers now, this mathematical game isn't just for pros.
You have to have patience and discipline and really think your moves ahead of time and really see the consequences of your action. I think it's a very good activity for kids.
And whether you know what castling is or not.
This here?
Yes.
And then I
King right there.
this back.
Chess is a game that both young and old can excel at, and Dan's dad says that he's already doing great.
Those older brothers, watch out. Here he comes.
64 squares, 32 pieces, and lots of fun. In Binghamton, Elise McGlonis, YNN.
Well, folks, another great tournament. The 2015 Tradewise Gibraltar Chess Festival being played in Gibraltar. Unbelievable scenery. Gibraltar is an amazing place, World-class players, one of the top-rated opens in the world. Karl Nakamura, Topalov, ex-world champion, Huey Fan, you name it, they're there. Oh, a whole lot of English players, you name it, they're all over the world. And they all come here to Gibraltar once a year for the Gibraltar Chess Festival 2015. From January 26th to February 15th, 2015. Don't miss any of these great games. Hi folks, John Cordisco back again. Well, here's a game, round 3 of the Gibraltar Chess Festival. This is the Masters section. Pretty good game. Now this is an open tournament. Now Topalov, Nakamura, a lot of the big names are playing in it. So anybody can play anybody. And you get a lot of lopsided ratings. And this is one, but the player's not really a weak player. Give you an idea. Last name is Hu, J-U, from China, against Richard Rapport. Exciting player from Hungary is black. Hu is white. Richard Rapport is black. Richard needs no introduction. I'm not familiar with the white player, but let's get on with it. Queen's Gambit. Bishop takes. E6. Now for me this is weird already with the configuration with no pawn here. E3. Nothing really wrong with it. I mean you can even castle on the king side for white. But it's just different. Knight C3. A6. Queen. Pretty much standard stuff. Computer's on off screen. Maybe a half-point advantage for white. Rook to A7. That one come out of the blue completely. Now Richard is known for his unorthodox openings. I call him the polished version of Joe Bava, who's just wild. Great player, but he's crazier than hell. Richard Rapport is a little tamer version of him, but he comes up with these things. I don't know where he gets them from. Just preparation, I guess. Computer like D takes instead. And after bishop takes, you know, it's a game. But interesting though, if he had taken the pawn. Rook, queen takes, knight takes, knight a5. You know, that's what the computer shows as a continuation, which is totally absurd. But I want to show you what the computer thought. Rook to c1, standard stuff. Soon white's going to take here, or black's going to take, and this file's going to open up for white. Interesting might have been castle long. Then after knight a5, queen a4 check, c6. It shows about a 1.25 advantage for white, but I think white's really okay, even with the queenside castling. That rook at a7 is just weirder than hell. After rook c1, g6, c takes, knight takes, bishop comes back, of course. It's a good spot for that bishop. If knight had taken instead, pawn takes, h4, h5 was a continuation of the computer, and that makes perfect sense. White has the bishop pair, though. But after bishop g3, knight takes, pawn takes. Now, those of you who are wondering if queen had taken instead, after bishop, of course, you lose the queen. Pawn takes, bishop d6, c4. Now, in a weird way, white's hoping that he's going to take. He takes to this pawn, and his pawns are in good shape there. Queen g5. If white had castled instead after c5, or black had castled instead after c5, bishop b7, bishop d3 is a likely continuation. Bishop g2. It's getting ready to castle, or at least get your bishop somewhat developed. Queen a5. Now, I'll tell you the truth, this is getting weird for me. These positions I'm not really familiar with. That rook at a7, I guess, just throwing me off. King to e2. He decides not to castle. When he wants to connect the rooks, bring the h rook around. h5. f4. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Castles. Knight e7 was an interesting line. Then after c5, h4, c takes, f5, h takes, f takes, queen h5 check, bishop, queen b5. This is just a line the computer gave. It's a crazy one too. E takes, check, king takes, h takes, rook takes, check, king moves, rook takes, bishop takes. Did you follow all that? After castles, bishop comes up. Queen to f5, excuse me. h3. Now let's just pause. This is a part of the game where I like this to pause it in. Take a good hard look at the position here. I don't know what black's going to do with that knight on c6. He really has nowhere to go. That's really any good. That bishop on d6 for black's in a good spot. Bishop's in a somewhat good spot on h3 and g2. Computer shows almost a point advantage for white, probably because of the center pawns. Bishop comes over. He wants to keep his dark squared bishop, so he moves it. And now h4, and now h2. Interesting. I think this has changed dramatically now. That bishop on g2 is the only decent piece, minor piece that white has. Queen a5. Starts getting weirder and weirder. Rook comes over. And bishop d6. Interesting. Do you go d5? Do you go e4 here? What do you do? White decides to go d5. He's got both of these rooks, or she does, I should say, both of these rooks bearing down. This bishop. White's come back a little bit, and the computer agrees. Maybe a 1.25 advantage for white. E takes, c takes. Now, if rook had taken instead, after queen to a3, queen takes, bishop takes. That scenario I like just a little bit better, to be honest with you. But that's just my taste. Knight goes back to b8. Where else is the knight going to go? It's really worth anything. Maybe e7. e4. Shore up that pawn. Those center pawns look very nasty. Rook d8. e5. Just push through. b6. That's interesting. Now let's look at the computer here off screen. Knight to d7 is the computer's choice. And we all realize, of course, why white can't take. Because he'll be in check. But he decides to go b6. Now the computer liked bishop a3 as well. And after rook to c4, b5. A little strange, but that bishop's in an odd spot. But after b6, he decides to hide his king. Good idea, or she does. Get it off the file. Now the bishop's in pre, and the bishop has to be moved. King to g1, decides to move the king again. Queen to b5. Trade or not trade? That is the question. And she says, no, I want that queen for the attack. Knight d7. What to do, what to do? Now I remember watching this part of the game live, on live stream. And I thought she made an excellent move. The computer likes e6. And that's what all the analysts were looking at. Maybe a4 to chase the queen off a little bit. Or rook to b1 to chase the queen again. She decided to go rook e1. I like that move a lot better, to tell you the truth. Because those pawns are really coming now. Bishop b4. Hitting the rook. Rook goes to e3. Bishop hits. And now goes to e4. And that rook is there to stay. Computer liked rook b1 instead. And after the queen moves, rook e4. Bishop takes check. Queen takes. Queen takes. Granted, it's 2 pawns for a piece, but that's the other scenario. And of course, black is doomed. Rook e4, and this is where I think Richard Rapport stumbles. I mean, what do you do here? You want to keep these squares guarded. Tries to go bishop to f8. It makes sense why he did it, but right now it's over. It's a 2.5 point advantage for white. The computer liked knight to f8 instead. It guards some key squares, to be sure. The bishop's still guarding the squares. This knight can guard this square. It still sucks for black, but it's better than bishop f8. Now rook c4. Now black's in a lot of trouble. Knight c5, trying to close up the file. Pawn up. Great move. And that's the computer's move by far. It's almost a 5 point advantage now for white. And you can see this coming. Bishop g7. Just hoping to hang on. F takes. c6. That's the second choice of the computer, but I'll tell you the truth, any choices really suck. But c6 was a close choice. D takes. Now I recall at this point, we're on move 35. These guys are really low in time on this point. There's a 30-second increment. And I believe it was down to maybe a minute, less than a minute for Rapport, and maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes for white. So they're moving on instinct now. So if the quality moves aren't so hot, now you know why. It's almost a 10-point advantage now for white. It's over. Bishop takes. G takes check. Finally, that rook's been sitting on a7 looking stupid. Finally gets in the game. Bishop d5. pinning the rook. Computer liked queen checks first. And then after bishop d5, then knight e6. Bishop takes, rook takes, queen takes. You got a full rook. It comes out the same. Queen to b2, big deal, it's over. After bishop d5, bishop takes check, trying to get something. King takes, knight e6. Queen checks. I mean, this is a disaster for Rapport. King f8. And now the 40th move, queen h6 check, and that's what Rapport says, the heck with it. Doesn't even bother making his 40th move. Be honest with you, without mate, I've never seen a score so high and advantage to one side of the computer. And the computer actually shows that white is up by 37 points. That's 3 queens and a rook. Give you an idea what will have happened. Knight blocks. Queen checks. King over. Rook to f4. Rapport knew he was lost anyway. King h7. Bishop takes. Rook e6. Rook takes check. Queen. Queen d3 check. Doesn't even take the queen in the scenario. Queen to d8. King. g8 check. King h6. h8. g5. Queen takes check. Queen blocks. Rook to g1 check. King f5. Bishop takes. Rook takes. Queen takes. King. And then mate. Now, did you follow all that? Anyway, you can see why Rapport is throwing the towel at this point here. So that's a big win for the young lady, Zhu, from China. And that's a tough loss for Richard Rapport. He's a great player. Great player. He just didn't make it today. Anyway, folks, that's one of the games from round 3. Pretty wild. I hope you enjoyed it. Look for more games from this round as well as upcoming rounds in the Gibraltar Chess Festival 2015. Great tournament, great location. The scenery is amazing. Anyway, folks, I want you all to remember, if you think chess is just a game, you're not playing it right. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.